Hi, this is Sean, and this channel's called Wolf Dog Moon. And on today's episode of Comic Book Realms, we're going to review and discuss Wolverine #1. If you like this kind of content, smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel for more, ring the bell for notifications, comment down below, and share with your friends. Alright, let's get into this. Alright, so if you've seen our previous episodes of Comic Book Realms, then you know how this is gonna go. Basically, we're gonna split this up into two parts, a spoiler-free section and then a spoiler section. And we're gonna do that so in case you get through the spoiler-free section, you want to go get this comic for yourself, you can do that without getting spoiled. But we do encourage you to come back and join us for the second part where we get into the comic and we discuss different marquee elements that happen in the comic and also give our final thoughts at the end. And so you can come back and comment down below and get in on the discussion, and we can all have a good old time. Let's get into this. So we got Wolverine in his very own monthly series for the first time. Now, I remember back in the 80s and stuff, you know, the Uncanny X-Men were getting very popular once they switched to Chris Claremont and his style of the X-Men, because the original X-Men, they were, you know, led by, Cyclops, and you had the Beast, and you had Iceman. And then around, I think, issue number 99 or 100, they switched to this new lineup, which was a kind of a diverse cast of different characters, kind of like Star Trek, where you have characters from different parts of the Earth. You know, you have Wolverine, he's from Canada, and then you have a Russian and Colossus, and then so on. So you have these different diverse characters and stuff, and they're called mutants, and they have these exceptional powers and abilities and stuff. And right from the beginning, Wolverine was this edgy character who, you know, he had a no-nonsense approach to everything, which kind of conflicted with Professor X and his original vision of the X-Men. You have this Wolverine character where he's much more like Conan. He's much more like a savage barbarian warrior or a samurai-style warrior. And he has his own code, and he has a lot of contradictory elements, but at the end of the day, he just wants to get the job done by any means necessary. And when you're fighting, especially some of the foes that the X-Men eventually have to take on, like the Marauders or the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, you can't play around with these people. They're evil, and they need to be taken down before they cause a lot of chaos and destruction and hurt a lot of people. And Wolverine, he's been through wars, he's been through all types of battles and stuff, and so he wants to do whatever it takes to get the job done. So now, as the Uncanny X-Men series was going along, you have a popularity with this Wolverine character, because he's so unique in a lot of ways. He's known as Logan. He only has, even his name was a mystery. Everything about this character, there was like a lot of mystery in, you know, the aspect with his origin to how he got the adamantium claws and skeleton. They kept it very mysterious, and it makes for a very intriguing character on the hero's journey, because you want to know more about this character, but there's so much cloaked in secrecy and stuff. And also, because of his unique abilities and his healing factor, it's unknown how old this guy could be. So now you get, because of the popularity, he finally gets his own series. And what's cool about this issue is you actually have the artist that did Conan. Now, we did an episode of Comic Book Realms. I think it was the episode right before this. We encourage you to go check that out for more context, because we discuss, you know, the artistry of that particular issue. It's Conan number 30. So go check that out for more context. But you see here, with that artist and his style, you get this badass cover right off the bat. You get I love this cover. You know, Wolverine, he's got his claws out. You got the moon behind him. I even like how they do this, the font. In the coloration, it really pops. It also has kind of an Asian aspect to it. And then you have all these men that he's dispatched. They look like thugs and bandits and pirates and stuff. So you get this epic cover. Now, right off the bat, this issue is awesome. It doesn't pull any punches in terms of where the direction that they're gonna go in with this series, and so you get this edgy character in Wolverine, and that was Myra. She has to do that in every video to let you know that she's around, and I think that she likes this too because you know, Wolverine's kind of a primal savage, and Myra can be like that sometimes. She sees a rabbit outside, she wants to chase it down. So you have this pathic warrior here in Wolverine, and he's to me, he's kind of like a samurai. He's like a mix between like a samurai warrior and like a barbarian, and he has like a primal side to him. And so in this first issue, you get this awesome Wolverine lone wolf aspect to him, where he's on a mission by himself, and he's in this he basically it's like a spec ops kind of operation. There's these pirates that have taken over this island, this archipelago, I think that's how you pronounce it, and they're basically doing horrific things to the inhabitants. They've killed and done even worse to the people, and they've kind of taken control, and they're these thugs led by this pirate you know, captain, and they just are out to pillage and do worse. And so Wolverine knows you can't fool around with these guys. They're despicable, and they've done horrific acts. Because of his unique abilities, he can track using scent and stuff, but he can also tell what has transpired you know, in an area and stuff, and so he can see the leavings behind of their horrific acts and stuff, what they've done to people. So right away, in this one, he's on a special mission, basically to save an old friend from his past, this guy Kojima. And so already you're getting kind of the mystery of, they're gonna flesh out when Wolverine was in Japan. And so there was a point when he was in Japan, I think he was even married, or he had a fiance, and so you have this whole connection with him being a part of like a samurai clan, or however they samurai faction, and a part of a family that is an ancient family in Japan and stuff. So he's on this mission in this issue to rescue this man named Kojima. And so you have a lot of mystery behind why Wolverine has to do this, and why Kojima has gone missing and stuff. And so right away you're thrust into this epic mystery, and also it's kind of like a little bit like James Bond, where, you know, Wolverine's kind of doing this on his own. And so you yeah, what's interesting is this is told in first person, which is unique for comic books, I think. So you get to get immersed in Wolverine's thoughts and stuff, and what he's thinking and why. So it's the little boxes, and I'll show you when we go inside the comic that how it's done in first person rather than like the third person omnipotent view that they usually do. And so this is an awesome issue. It's a great way to get Wolverine into his own comic book. And what's cool is, again, they change his like they give him kind of more of like a stealth costume. So he has kind of like a ninja samurai. What is it? A shinobi. So he has like a shinobi quality to him, and he's all in black. His and they use this limited kind of palette for the comic too. And so it has a kind of almost like Lone Wolf and Cub, if you're familiar with the manga. And so it has kind of that as the direction to go in. And so you get this awesome edgy comic, but this would be an awesome like TV series where you have Wolverine going on these different missions and stuff, and why, and you have the different Asian aspects of the story that is really cool to see in a comic book. So you get the blending of the Western kinds of tropes, and also Japanese culture is mixed in here as well. So he's very much the Pathic warrior. He is respected in the way that he's like a type of samurai in this. So you get to see this whole other side of Wolverine told from his perspective as he takes on these different dark the dark underworld or the dark underbelly of the different societies, or the kind of the Yakuza or whatever they're called, the organized crime world and stuff. So definitely encourage you pick this issue up, and if you can get your hands on it, you'll be immersed into an epic series where you get to follow Wolverine as he takes on guys with machine guns and stuff they're horrific monsters in a way. They're just out to pillage and do worse, and so it takes someone like Wolverine to take these guys down. This also is reminiscent of the second Rambo movie, where he has to go on this mission. I think it's in Vietnam or whatever, to rescue some soldiers that have gone missing in action, and only Rambo can get it done. So you have that kind of story plays out in this issue. So this will end the spoiler-free section, and again, we encourage you, once you have read this, you can come back and watch the rest of the video and get in on the discussion down below, and so that we can have a good old time. All right, so let's get into the spoiler zone. 1 second, please. All right, so here we go. And again, this cover is awesome. I love the dark black background that his claws really pop out, and you got this sinister moon in the back with the dark silhouettes of the clouds streaking across, and then you have this just pile of bodies, and I especially like the green. There's this airy light coming in from somewhere, and this guy is disproportionate hands. He's got this jagged blade, and then you got these dark, almost Frankenstein-like limbs just protruding everywhere and stuff. This is an awesome presentation for the cover. So let's jump into this. So right away, this is called Sword Quest, and it explains here, in a small out-of-the-way island in the heart of the Indonesian archipelago, where Captain Lee Kwan Pen of Sovereign Airways makes his last desperate stand. So right away, you're thrust into some kind of action where this guy, he's been taken hostage, and he's just an airline pilot fighting for his life, and you got fire underneath here, and then it's awesome drawing over here. So what I like, you got Chris Claremont as the writer, but this John Buscema I think it's the same one from Conan. I love his art style. I love it. Has an awesome motion to it, and you can really feel the sense of the muscular tones, but also that it feels like there's movement and stuff. Like this guy just took a blow to the gut, and he's just knocked back a little bit, and this guy's just desperate to try to survive. So this comic doesn't play around. So what I would say to you is that it's not anything worse than it's not as bad as, for example, as something like maybe one of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, but it definitely has some themes that are a little bit more of an adult nature in here. But I think anyone of any age can get it. You got good versus evil in here, and once that's established, it's clear who the evil guys are and stuff. So he knocks this guy's back, and he's just desperately fighting for his life. And these thugs, they're just hanging back because, okay, to them it's just a joke and stuff. These guys, they're killers. They kill all the time, and this is just like a fun little performance for them that they get to watch. They could step in at any moment and end this fight. And so you have this guy right here. He's the captain of these pirates. He's the prince of the pirates or whatever, or he thinks so-called prince of the pirates. And so he's just taken upon himself he wants to just get his jollies off by being the bully that he is. And so his guys are just sitting back and watching and stuff. And so right here you got women that they've taken hostage, and they're all tied up. And this guy, Lee Kwan, I think his name is, the airline pilot, he's just fighting because it's either that or they're going to do worse. They're just going to kill him anyway, and they're going to do worse to these women and stuff. And so right away you get he's defeated. But then you get this right here. So this pulls no punches and stuff. And so that he fought for his life, but in the end it wasn't enough. And now the captain of the pirates, look, that's just horrific. So just dispenses with them that way. So these guys, they're despicable, they're disgusting, and they need to be taken down by any means, because they've been doing this for a while. I mean, the women are just praying at this point, and they don't know what they're going to be able to do against these thugs. And so they're all proud and excited about, this guy is all proud and excited about what he did, and it's horrific. They've been doing this kind of stuff for a long time. So right away it switches to another part of the island. It looks like they put a net around the plane. So they've taken the plane. They've taken everyone that was on the flight crew, and they've been doing this for a long time. And so you have this epic picture where you have these different sentries and guards and stuff, milling about, and Wolverine's telling you that about what they've been up to, and how he's seen the mass grave that these guys had created through their evil. And so this guy, Wolverine, I love that picture's awesome. He's they're like almost like a wild animal, or like something from a horror movie, and he just grabs this guy by the neck and ends his evil ways. And you got the epic Conan style drawings and stuff. And so Wolverine's on to the next part of his mission. He's just moving silently, and this is what I mean about the shinobi. He's dressed like a shinobi, and they have traps, they have snares and different alarms that they have set up, and through his abilities and stuff, he can avoid the booby traps and move silently and stuff. And he's moving behind these guys, and so he finds his way to another building where they're about to do nasty things to like this woman, and you just hear his claws pop out. So they use a lot of bold blacks in this, and then pops of color, but it's kind of like a limited palette. It's because this is more of like definitely more edgy and also adultish. So he takes that down, and then he tells her, "I'm a friend," and he's who he's looking for and stuff. So he's on this mission, and so he finds this Kojima, and it's like this Kojima guy's been tortured so much that he doesn't even believe that this is his old friend Logan, Wolverine. And so Wolverine's like, "Kojima Noboru, can you hear me?" And he says, "Who speaks? Know that voice? Is it Logan?" Or he says it is Logan. He's speaking in Japanese, just so you know. That's why they have these little arrows. And yeah, so Wolverine, he says, it is Logan. And this guy's like, liar, a cheap trick, and I will not be deceived. Logan is dead. So apparently, Logan, when he was with the Uncanny X-Men, he kind of, resurfaced after he had, supposedly died. And so his life in Japan, now you're finding out why, his old life, people have kind of, have moved on in a sense because he had died. They thought he was dead. So now he's returning to the fold, so to speak. And so they're all like, it's like they're seeing a ghost from the past. And Wolverine kind of plays along because this guy's been tortured almost to death. He's just hanging by a string. And so he says, then consider me a ghost in Japanese. And if you know how to say that in Japanese, can you please post that down below, because I do like to learn Japanese, and that would be neat if you can post kind of what they're saying if you speak Japanese or know someone that does. That would be neat. So now these thuggish guys come barreling in, and they grab this girl by the hair. They're nasty, and they're confident in their powers. No one has stopped them up to this point. Their evil machinations, and they've gotten away with all kinds of atrocities. And like there's a mass grave because of these bozos. And so they're worse than pirates because they're doing just horrific stuff. And so I like what this guy says. He says he'll have no trouble doing that, stranger, because when we're through, a ghost is what you'll truly be. So they've been listening to him. It's almost like it was a trap. And then you got this epic picture. It's like a whole panel, like a whole page. He's just, I've had enough. He's turning into a savage already, and he has some kind of stuff over his face to kind of as a disguise. I like that. If you've seen the original Conan the Barbarian movie, they do that. Conan, when they go to steal the gem from the giant snake, they're wearing disguises that are just like paint splashed over their face and stuff. So I like that. Talk is cheap, bub. You want my hide? Take it, if you can. And the claws come out. He's not playing around. My name's Logan, but most people know me as Wolverine. I'm the best there is at what I do. Yeah, he means business in this comic. So you get an awesome scrum that happens. I mean, they're shooting at him. They all attack at once, and he's just plowing through them. He says, but what I do best isn't very nice. He can't pull any punches. The rest of them come running, these thugs and outlaws, and he's just taking them down like Conan the Barbarian would. He's just slashing through them. They're shooting their guns. They're actually shooting and hitting him and stuff. But he, with his healing factor and the savage ferocity of his nature, he can push through intense levels of pain too. And so I love this too. It switches completely to a limited palette, as if they're in a pitch black room fighting. So it's nearly pitch black. There's just a little bit of light, and there's no sound effects, but you can just imagine the noises and the grunts and the slashes and the broken bones and the snapping and the twisting of the bodies and being smashed about and stuff. And you have this great picture where Wolverine's at the inside here somewhere, and they're all piling in on him, and he's just, he's got this tremendous strength and determination. All these guys are piled on top of him as he's moving towards this other guy. It's awesome. Says, don't know how that happened or who's responsible. Don't much care anymore. So I am what I am. Too bad for these clowns. So he's just in attack mode, and the ferocity of his attacks, these guys aren't going to stop him. I love this drawing. It's awesome. And he just smashes through this wooden, pavilion, and, takes the scrum outside and stuff. And so this woman is inside, and she wants to help this. She's a stewardess or whatever, and so she's wants to help this anyone she can. And so she tries to comfort this Kojima guy. He's been tortured so much that he's in a bad way. But they have these awesome, again, the Conan artistry and stuff really is applicable for this. It's definitely appropriate. They made a good decision doing that. So you have, okay, Wolverine's in red right here, and then you have all these thugs and stuff. In the foreground you got Wolverine, and then in the background there in color. And so it's awesome because it gives you like he's in a primal rage and stuff, and he means business and stuff. So that's the idea behind that. So moving along, you get more awesome fighting. I mean, they're shooting bullets at him and stuff, and he's just taking them on like a samurai warrior, just slashing through them. And it's like one of them is able to try to almost, cut his head off, but because of his adamantium skeleton, it's to no avail. The actual blade just shatters, and Wolverine is just unfazed. And this guy's so shocked. Wolverine just, again, the limited palette here, you got the moon in the background that's orange, and the rest is blue and this little bit of purple. It's awesome. He grabs a hold of this guy, and as he's slashing these other guys, and he's whirling this guy around to keep him at bay. And then you have another, like, he's just in a primal rage. So you have, it's all these warm colors and stuff as he's propelled towards them. They're getting slashed in the face. They're cowering, and then you have this swath of dark coloring as he's just brutally assaulting these scumbags. And now they all attack him at once. Like every single one is attacking him, and it's to no avail. He's just the primal warrior. And at the end, he literally looks like some weird monstrosity. Like he looks like a cross between, kind of like a werewolf or something right there. And all these guys, their limbs are cut off and stuff, and they're just destroyed. And so the only ones left is you have the captain. He's calling for his men and stuff because this guy's never been stopped in any of his different campaigns of evil here. And he's looking around and seeing nothing but death. And he's calling out, "Answer me! You dogs," and stuff. But then you got this awesome, there's smoke from the burning building and stuff. And Wolverine's coming through the smoke like some kind of apparition. "I'm here," he says. And then this guy's despicable, so he immediately finds a hostage because he's just a bully, and he's gonna try to survive any way he can now. So he takes her hostage, and Wolverine basically tells him, "Let her go, because if you don't, if you can't kill her, because I'm gonna kill you, and so you should just let her go." And of course, that guy, this is the only edge he has, so he jumps in the boat and stuff. And he thinks he's gonna get away and stuff. He's all happy and stuff. Plus, he'll have the woman to kind of enjoy, if you know what I mean, after he gets away. And so he's waving goodbye and stuff. But the tables are turned on him because the other stewardess or whatever was down below with a gun, and she, couldn't help Kojima and stuff, but she was able to help this other woman from her plane. So Wolverine's happy and stuff. So he goes back into where Kojima is, and he's squatting down and talking to his old friend. And he learns that what they're after is this Muramasa sword. And the pirate slogan, son, employed by the cult of the Black Blade. It's like, you need not, it says, it says here, you need not pretend, my lord. I know I am dying. So Wolverine's he's in the upper echelons of the class in Japan. So that's why he's called the Lord. So in Japan, he has an honorific and stuff. So he's a prestige level person. And this guy explains about this special Muramasa blade sword. and that there's the cult of the Black Blade that's pursuing it. And so he explains who has it, and that they need to be stopped. And that's why they were torturing him, to try to get that information out of him. And so Wolverine learns of what their evil is and what their plans are. And now he tries to comfort his friend and stuff as he dies and stuff. And so he also says here, I'll do what I can, my friend, and get the word to Lady Mariko that you served her faithfully and well and died a true samurai. So he didn't give up the secrets that are, for the secrets of the family, and he didn't lose his honor, even though they were torturing him and stuff. So it's awesome in that way. And so we're going to jump ahead for a second. I'm going to pause it. All right, so now we transition to a different place where we're at an airport, and I'm going to see if it says where the airport is. Madripoor Airport. And so right away we're going to learn about this new character, this woman. Her name's Lindsay McCabe, and so she's it's presented as if she's like a tourist or something, and she's arrived in this area, or she's some kind of reporter or something. But right away you see these goons over here in these suits, and they're watching her closely. And then this figure bumps into her, and we know it's Wolverine, but he's wearing a disguise. He's wearing a patch. So he's already tracked her down and is on the scent. And lucky enough, because we have almost like these Agent Smith type characters, these Yakuza members or whatever they are, in these suits and stuff, that are going to be pursuing her. So he slashes their tires, which is awesome. It's funny because they're, we got to get, they need to tail her and stuff to see where she goes. So later she goes to this awesome hotel place. It's a city of Madripoor. And she's in this luxury building, and she has this awesome view and stuff. And so everything's been taken care of for, she feels like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. And so it's because she doesn't know, unbeknownst to her, she's has information that this faction wants. And so when she comes into her room, all of a sudden there's people waiting for her, and right away they're thuggish, and they're trying to get her to reveal what she knows, and they're going through her suitcases and stuff, and they're already threatening her life and stuff. But luckily Wolverine was on the scent, he was on the trail, and he literally just kicks in the door, and he comes in, and the fight is on, and you have this epic kind of James Bond battle. He's just a guy in a suit, and he has a patch and stuff. It definitely makes me feel like, he's like James Bond. And this woman sneaks up behind him and puts a gun to his head. And but the lady ends up smashing her on the head and gets the gun for herself. So she has some guts herself, which is cool. And so right away she points the gun at Wolverine, but he's like, I'm the one that just kicked down the door and saved you. So he doesn't care anyway. That gun's not going to stop him. So he's nonchalant in that way. They already took care of business, which is cool. And so he's just going through trying to figure out who these guys were exactly, and trying to explain to her what's going on. So that's how this ends. He explains that because it says here, what's cool, it says she says, you're the man from the airport who bumped into me. And he says, yep, Kojima sent me. And she said, I'd prefer hearing that from him. Can't. He's dead. Flight got hijacked a week ago by the same outfit who's after you now. And she says, dead a week ago? But that's impossible. I spoke to him yesterday before leaving San Francisco. And Wolverine says, whoever you spoke to, Missy, it wasn't him. So, And she's like, but Jesse, my partner, she's the one carrying the sword. She's on her way to meet him. And Wolverine's thinking, which means she could well be on her way to her own funeral. And then the next episode's the Black Blade. So this is an awesome issue. I'm going to get to my final thoughts. I also like this cover on the back, so you get to see Wolverine in his other costume, so that, so no one's confused, kind of thing. That this is a different character or whatever. It's the same character. It's just meant to be more like he's more like a samurai or a shinobi in this. And so he has a type of swords, but they're the claws that come out of his hands. And then he's wearing different disguises and stuff, because you kind of have he's like a spec ops, and he has to go on this, and track down this sword, and also stop the people who are trying to get their hands on it. So you get this awesome story, and this epic plays out in this very first issue of Wolverine in his own monthly series. So I highly encourage you pick this up. Point blank, this is awesome. The artistry is fantastic. The artwork, the drawing style, it all fits with the tone of the story. You have this edgier Wolverine. He means business, and he's fighting thugs who they do horrific and disgusting things, and so he needs to put them down and also complete his mission. And so he needs to protect the ones that he loves, and then these innocent bystanders that are caught up in the mix. They're dragged into this struggle that's probably ancient. Again, Wolverine could be hundreds of years old. We don't know, and it's a mystery. So we don't know how far back he goes. He might have once wielded the blade that this Brotherhood of the Blade, or whatever they're called, the Black Blade cult. He might have once been gifted that blade as a samurai. So Wolverine could have very well been a samurai hundreds of years ago. So that's what's cool about this. It starts off an awesome new type of arc, and it brings in a cool Japanese aesthetic and Japanese cultural elements, and you get this blending of the two in this awesome issue of Wolverine, where you also get kind of James Bond type aspects too. So definitely encourage you pick up this if you've not read it before. Again, this is an awesome series. You got one of the best Marvel characters, in my opinion, in terms of the depth. And there's so many contradictions with Wolverine, and also he has his own code, and there's a lot of mystery to this character for you to delve into and enjoy. So definitely encourage you to check this one out. Comment down below, let us know what you think, and you can get in on the discussion and smash that like button and all that stuff. And in the meantime, we hope that this video finds you having an awesome day, and we hope that you have a blessed day and that your spirits remain high. Signing out.